Kia ora and good morning everyone, it's Munib from Social Driving Academy. Today I have Ian Elford with me from Driven From Success. Ian's gamified the road code and created a board game to help people prepare for their learner theory tests. So welcome Ian to our second series or second episode of In the Hot Seat with Social Driving Academy. You've created this Driven for Success board game. How have you sort of gotten involved with this?
Thanks, Manny. Well, first of all, thanks for having me here. It's lovely to be able to give the opportunity to present and also to meet you. So that's lovely. What happened with my board game was 5 years ago we were helping and supporting people within my line of work in corrections, and we were helping them pass a driving test. People coming out on sentence. So we had a 2-day seminar and we did like a theory testing. And then they had a booklet, and then we took them to the test the following day. And some of the guys were like bemused by, you know, the actual book. You could see the confusion on their faces and stuff when they were trying to fill stuff out, even though they were told we were going through the answers and going through it as a group. Some of them seemed to be struggling, and so I went home that day. I think I had the day off the following day, and I just played around with a massive big chart and put stickers here and stickers there, and thought, you know what, why don't I make it into a game instead to make it more practical for people to learn.
Wow. And
that's how we come about it. And then when I've done more research, it has actually been done in the UK in the 80s, but they don't sell the game anymore. And it was also done in Africa, and they made people buy the game before they went for the driving test and lessons and stuff. But there's no such game in Australasia, so nothing here, nothing in Australia.
Wow.
So this is the first one in New Zealand especially, and also we plan to go to Australia hopefully.
Nice. When
the game becomes successful here.
Yeah. Oh, very cool. Yeah, it's only a different concept from you know, online. Why did you go down that pathway, the whole print and board game? Yeah,
so we went, what we thought was there's several reasons really. I mean, the main reasons were for people with literacy issues and people with dyslexia and people with brain injuries.
Access to technology, was that one of the barriers?
That's another one. Another one was the access to technology, living in rural areas, not being able to afford, because, you know, we all know that taking tests, you know, I don't know, was it $120 now, I think you were saying?
Yeah, it's about that, yes, I think so.
Yeah, so I mean, the game's $50 to buy, and the hope is that people can educate themselves when they're 14, 15 before they get to 16. So when they get to that stage, they'll have the ability to subconsciously sort of recall stuff.
Yeah.
And that will give them the ability to focus on what they need to focus on when they're driving.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, and I know that, you know, people are learning stuff and driving, they're trying to think of everything.
Yeah.
And the hope is that, you know, people will learn it and then they'll play the game repetitively until they get to the age where they can drive, and then they can, and then they know it all.
Yeah.
And then they can show their parents up and have a, you know, go into school with them and say, why are you doing that for, Dad? What are you driving too fast for? And they can have a conversation with the children. So,
nice.
And it's good for you and I as well, and we can play the game, and you know, we've been driving for so long, we forget things. We're not all perfect, you know. So it's good to be able to recall stuff. And like I said to you earlier, you know, when I started devising the game, you know, all the distances and all the depth of tyres and all this type of stuff, which I'd known before, I'd forgotten. So it's good to recall it all. So so that's the reason. So the reason why we've done it, to try and get into the schools to educate, and also to support people coming out of prison, because they do driving lessons and driving tests in prisons now.
Yes. And
the whole purpose is to try and get someone coming out of prison to be educated, supported, with accommodation and also qualifications and also driving license.
Right.
So we've got it in about 6 prisons already so far. So we're progressing through that as well.
So is there a lot of that? What sort of percentage of people that end up in the prisons and that don't have their licenses?
I haven't actually got the number for that, but it does become a bit of a concern, because a lot of them go in there with nothing, but they come out with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, you know, it gives them a lot more confidence coming out with a qualification, with you know, NVQs, whatever they're doing now in the schools. They do it in the prisons for like cooking NZQA and classes, and then they'll obviously get the license, and the AA were helping out and getting identification and stuff.
Right.
So they're like big things which people didn't have, and when you went to get bank accounts and stuff like that, you know, the banks are after some form of ID, and if you haven't got it, you can't move forward.
Yes, of course.
And it's also for employment, you know, it's like, we know that employment's a massive thing, even on a restricted, at least you can get to and from work. you know, and with a forklift license, if you've got a license, you can put your forklift license.
Yes, of course.
On
so
there.
it's not
But
just just for driving purposes, but a driver's license also provides a form of identification,
Exactly,
so it enables people in that sense too.
Yeah, and I think with the forklift licenses, if you haven't got a license, you get like a certificate. You get like a license for forklift.
Yes.
Yeah, an OSH. Yeah, but you have to renew it every 2 years.
Yes.
Whereas if you got a license, you can just stick it on there and it's there until your license expires, and you can just change it. Yeah.
Yes.
So it saves time and it saves money as well, trying to get that reinstated again.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so there are lots of the reasons, and we spoke about obviously the charities we donate to.
Yeah.
And we do all that to help them. Every time we sell a game,
driven for success.
Yes, yeah. If you turn that over on the back, there's we donate $1 charity to every time we sell a game. So we've got our 5 charities, which is Bernardo, Starship, breast cancer, suicide awareness, and domestic violence.
Oh wow!
And we do that as a collateral sort of a payment. Once we get up to 500 games, we're up to 370 now. Then we'll give, we'll distribute sort of $100 to each charity.
Oh, excellent! Wow,
and hopefully, as we move forward, we can give them more and support them more. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I like that. I like the idea that you help people through the primary sort of product here, and then you can also then give back even more.
Exactly. That's the plan. Obviously we'll make some money from doing it ourselves. Well, I say us, it's my company. I'm the one running it at the moment, but the way things are going, I may need support and help in the future. But as well as enabling us to sort of financially support ourselves, it gives us the ability to support and help other people as well at the same time. And there's other plans I've got, to do other projects and stuff as well. But we'll just see how this goes, and hopefully this will allow us to do other stuff within the community and support everyone. Yeah, I mean, we got New Zealand Library doing a promotion soon, so they'll be given a few games to distribute, and they'll be doing like a competition for us. And then again, we got Paper Plus, and Paper Plus we taking some, and they're doing a promotion, so they should be in the Paper Plus stores by hopefully when the games come over mid-August. They're on the way now. They'll be hopefully by Paper Plus once they get the allocated stores who wish to purchase, probably September, October, maybe at the very latest. They should be in there. Yeah.
So once you have your product in New Zealand, they'll potential customers will be able to purchase it from your website.
Well, they can purchase it now on a pre-order.
Oh yes.
They can go to our website, which is just drivenforsuccess.shop. They can go onto our Facebook page, which is just Driven for Success. But they can also Google, if you just Google Driven for Success, it comes up on the front page. So they can just click on that as well.
Right.
And you can also get access to the Facebook via our website.
Right.
And the actual website shows you the game, as well.
Okay.
And also if you go onto Facebook, you got all our links with 7 Sharp we did. And also our video for our charities, and a few other articles we did as stuff.co as people can read.
It's all on the website.
Yeah, all on the website. All on the Facebook page. There's lots of links they can look at. Yeah.
But you're also saying that from September, October, that the product will also be available in Paper Pluses.
Yeah. They're just waiting for the product to come over. And then what they'll do is they'll do an assessment, and then they'll do like a call out to all the stores. And then once they get an allocation as to how many people want what, they'll then take what they need,
right,
and then they'll distribute them into the stores which are asking for them. So that'd be good, yeah. And then we'll be able to put that on our Facebook page, as to where it's available, or people can just email us. We got an email on our website, just contact at drivenforsuccess.shop, and then they can just email and ask us, and we can just give them a list of all the places. But we will put it on we will regularly keep updating it on the Facebook and keep bringing it to the top so people are aware where they can get access to them. Yeah, because a lot of people like to physically touch and feel, hey, rather than just buy stuff pre-order.
Yes.
That we've been very fortunate that people believe in what we're doing.
Yeah.
And with our pre-orders, we've been in a very lucky position that we've been able to do our production. And it's I've got to thank. So I'm obviously going to put yours onto my Facebook. So I'm also thanking my customers, because it's the first video I've actually be putting on for my people. Right. But I also like to thank my customers for their patience. They've been so patient, and I can't I can't say how grateful I am to them, because they haven't moaned. They obviously have got frustrated like me, but they've tolerated it, and they just accepted it with the COVID and stuff in China.
There's been challenges across the board in terms of supply. And
so everyone's now slowly getting excited about the idea of getting the game, which is a good feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose in terms of your customers, they believe in you, and they've seen that this product has the potential to help many people. So a little bit of patience is not too much to ask for.
Exactly, yeah,
And
and
when you,
it's nice to people to have that and people to do all the pre-orders as well. I'm very lucky that these are just pre-orders and not people purchasing. So you get almost 400 pre-orders. It's quite it makes when I had a pop-up event in Auckland, and no one turned up, but this was when Stuff.NZ did the article for me. So I was like waiting for people to turn up, and no one turned up. And then a friend of mine said, "Oh, we've got this article of you on Stuff." I was waiting for it to come through, and I thought, "Oh, okay, I'll have a look at it now." Then it didn't come through.
The article came out after the pop-up.
The pop-up was up while it was on. The article came up while
yes.
I was down Cakes and Ladders in town.
Right.
And I was sitting there, and so I was looking at it, and I was flicking it out to everyone and sort of passing it on to all the family and stuff, that the article. And I got to my car, and I sat there, and I was talking to my brother my brother's in Canada, and I was talking to him on Messenger, and I looked at my phone, and oh my God, 17 people already have purchased.
Oh wow, nice.
And then when I got, I was on my way home, and he just suddenly hit me, like, this is going to work, man. This is
good work, Ian.
I just sort of teared up, but like,
Nice.
it's one of those experiences in life where you believe, it's going to work, and it's like winning $1 million. You know you're going to win, but it's just a question of how long it will take to win it. And it's such a weird
that's certainly
feeling.
a good start. I mean, if you've just launched and you've already had 17 sales, that's a good start.
Well, we've had obviously 370 sales
since then. Yes,
but then we had, so out of Stuff.NZ we had 80 purchases.
Right.
And then when we had the 7 Sharp airing in February, I was sitting there, and my phone just wouldn't stop. We had 100.
Oh wow!
100 purchases over 24 hours. Yeah. So people have been purchased from since then. So that's why they're starting to get a little bit impatient as to how long it's going to be.
Wow. Yeah, that's really interesting because we earlier on we talked about the whole online space and apps and stuff like that, and why you've gone this way. But there's obviously that gap as well in terms of not having a product in that space where you can touch and feel, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why you've had great
that's what it's
uptake
about.
as well.
And the plan is also to go into other areas like boating and motorbikes and stuff like that for the future.
Right.
So, but we need to do more research to see how popular that will be.
Yeah, that'd be great.
We know, and I've explored a lot of driving enterprises and parties and stuff who I've never really got to know until recently. And it's amazing that the amount of people out there doing good for driving in Auckland and in New Zealand.
Yes.
You don't realise how many people there are, and it's like when you go to these conferences, you see all these people there. You think, "Hey, everyone's doing their bit," and that's what it's about, and that's what we're about. Just have another small cog to the big machine to give people another choice, really, as to how they want to support themselves.
Very much. I suppose it's. I
mean, we're not saying you play the game, you're going to pass a test. Everyone's got different ways to just another support
option.
tool. Yes.
Yeah, you're very much right. I mean, considering the enormity of the issue, the driver licensing challenge, we've got to attack it from different sort of angles and with different stakeholders. And try and get a win across the board.
I mean, unfortunately, New Zealand Transport looked at it, but it wasn't for them at this moment in time. But you can't have everyone on side. Everyone's got their own ideas. They're already working with Drive anyway, so they've got already a process in place which they're using.
Yes.
So that's the way it goes.
Contact the masses as well.
I mean, schools are obviously coming on board, so hopefully, if we can get the Ministry of Transport on board or the Ministry of Education involved in time, then we'll be able to distribute to all the schools. But at the moment, the schools are working on their budgets, and they're just sort of seeing what's going on and just making purchases and stuff.
Wow, that's very cool. That's very cool, Ian. I mean, that's quite a cool journey as well, that you've come up with this idea that is trying to solve one of our fundamental sort of issues around driver licensing. And a cool journey as well, and a cool entrepreneurship story there too. In terms of the uptake and the interest that you're getting from people from across the board.
I do enjoy what I'm doing, and in time I want to focus on what I'm doing, but obviously finances don't allow me to do that at the moment, but hopefully it shouldn't be too long before we get there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it'd be great for me just to focus on my journey with this, and project further with other projects and stuff, and to support New Zealand really, and make New Zealand a safer place to drive, and also we can get other products out there, for the sea, and the motorbikes and stuff, and hopefully people can be more more self-conscious of what they're doing and more aware as to what they're doing before they go out
Yeah,
and do
yeah,
stuff.
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, with our fail rates and stuff like that, and just our you know, accident rates and death rates.
Yeah,
anything
it's
to
terrible. Yeah, I mean, I think last year there's about 30 odd or so youngsters got killed from speeding and drink driving and
from
stuff.
speeding
So
and drinking. Yep.
it's not
And that's
it's not a good
besides-
place to be, and only 5% of them are leaving school with like the full licenses and
Oh,
stuff
wow.
like that. So
5%.
it needs to be addressed, and I think that there's quite a lot, about 1 million or so, who haven't got a license in,
Yes,
in,
yeah,
in
at
New
one
Zealand
point.
still.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's still a long way to go, and still a lot more room for improvement. And like if we can all do our bit together to support, then hopefully we can all together make the roads a lot safer than what they are. And hopefully by 2030, which is the government's plan to do that, you know, we can reduce the deaths and
the road to zero.
Road to Zero campaign. Yeah.
Well, for our viewers that don't have their learner licenses yet, do you want to tell us a little bit about how the game works and
Certainly.
you know, Driven for Success? It looks like
so
it's
we
a
can
card game.
just get out of the box if you want. I just don't really open the board up. We can just show viewers what it looks like. But they can also go onto the main website and they can see the game laid out.
Okay.
So yeah, so really we've got just a board where you go around the board. So this is the board where people will go around. They have a start and finish line, and they have question cards. And these are the 3 sets of questions. Each question pack has 55 cards, and the same with the learning. And the idea of the game is you can play. You've got 2 options. You can play like 2 dice to make the game faster, or one number dice to make it slower.
Oh yes.
And you can also have an expert and novice. So if you got like your child and you want to play with a child, you can go expert and then go novice.
Is that the type of questions, or?
No, it's not the questions, it's the quantity of questions. So you got cue cards on the board. So this one, you've also got like coloured dice, and yellow and red.
Yes.
So what will happen is you'll throw a dice. If you land on a question card with and you throw, and you come up with a red dot, then as an expert you'll have to answer 2 questions to move forward.
Oh,
so you'll answer the question on the board plus the dot plus the other dot. You know, if it's a learning card, then you just read the learning card. But if you got your child who does that, then they'll just do the question card on the board, and they'll just discard that, and then so it just makes it a little bit fair, I suppose, for the youngsters.
Yeah.
And that's it really. And it's just going around. It just the learning cards and the question cards interact each other. So the learning cards would more or less tell you the answers, and you read them out, and then obviously you'd be answered the question. So as you go along the board, it's all about recalling stuff and remembering stuff and practical learning. So you know, somebody might read something out in a learning card, then you might get the question and you get it right because you recall it. You know, So about a lot of repetitive learning and stuff. Yeah. So that's the basis of the game. This is the actual what the game will look like when viewers buy it. But like I said to many, this is going to be a bit shinier. We're going to have it like more glossy, more protective and stuff, so it won't get damaged as much.
That sounds like fun. I am prepping for my motorcycle learner theory test, and like you've said, you know, I've had the road code for maybe about a couple of months now, and I've yet to get through it.
Well, I might have to come and do that to get all the information I need for the next one, next step along the line.
I'm happy to provide you with any
That'd
information.
That'd be great. We can work together maybe on that one. That'd be good.
Yeah, it's certainly, you know, something that makes it a bit more fun and helps me along the way to get to that.
Unfortunately for you, you probably would have passed your test by then. Time I get to that motorbike one, but
I'm not sure. It's taken me a long time already.
Yeah, well, we'll see, but that'd be good because maybe you and I could work on that one together.
That'd be good. Could do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Ian. Thank you, Ian, for the introduction. You know, well done on the journey. You know, coming up with this product. You know, I know the entrepreneurship journey is a difficult one.
Yes, it is, especially financial and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, there's so many challenges.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you're doing well. You know, you've come up with the idea. You've you know, you've launched a product, and you know, you're getting it out there. So you know, well done to getting that far. You know.
Yeah, it has been like financially, it's been very lucky with people doing the pre-orders, which has allowed it to happen. And my brother doing the graphic design. I mean, that would have cost me 15,000-20,000.
Yes, of course. That's helpful.
If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you.
Yes, of course.
Because I would never have had that financing to start off with. So that's helped me immensely. And then the customers, you know, our loyal customers with the pre-orders to purchase. Yeah,
that's what brothers are for, right?
That's what family's about. Yeah. So he'll get rewarded in the future when we get sorted. He doesn't want it, but he'll get it.
Yeah, and you know, equally it's rewarding enough to know that you're contributing to something that's so important as well, right?
Exactly.
In terms of your brother's journey, and in terms of the driver license challenge as well.
I think I got a question. I think he is saying to me, because I don't think my brother or people understood, and even my parents, because my parents watched the podcast which I did with Will Fleming, and they didn't understand what I was doing. They just thought I was doing a board game. And then when I did the podcast, I explained the purpose and why we're doing it. So I thought I was more than I thought. And so they're a little bit more proud, I think, of what's happening now to what they thought before.
Yes, of course.
They just thought I was just doing a board game, but I mean, there's a lot more to it. There's a lot more reason behind it with supporting charities and supporting people and supporting the community. Yeah. And that's what I'm getting excited about, because when the time comes, I can pack up my other jobs. I can focus on this. So I'll be so dedicated and passionate to do it that it'd be lovely.
There's certainly a big hole to plug there. I mean, with the learner theory test, I know that the fail rates are about 40%. I'm not sure about the number of people that sit their tests each month, but I think, would you know, Ian, off the top of your head?
Not really. I know that I think you're right on the percentage. It's not good when quite a lot of people failing the first. I think maybe it's gone up since I thought it's 30, but maybe it's gone to 40.
Yeah, it's sort of around that area.
Mine was
there.
20 statistics, I think.
But I'm sure it's around 6,000 or 7,000 people that sit their learner theory test each month as well.
Yeah, you're a bit. I think you're up to date more than I. But I did do. I've got a presentation to present, which I'll also put on my Facebook page once we go to the conference, which is in August. We'll do that, and I'm just hoping that the games are going to be here before the conference date, because
that'll be
it's going to be like mid-August, and I hope they get to me before we get out to 25th.
At the end of the month,
because I want to take some with me, and I'm going to do like a quiz when we get there. And I'm going to give a couple of games away in the conference as well.
Nice.
So we can do like a quiz with all the tables and stuff. That's the plan.
That'll be cool.
Yeah, so that'd be good. Interaction, that'd be quite funny. See what the professionals know.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the knowledge around the road code and stuff is one aspect of it, and then teaching someone how to drive is another aspect.
Exactly.
So sometimes even us driving instructors, we forget things in the road code. They're not always top of mind, like the tire depths and stuff like that we talked about, and other aspects.
But I mean, I'm only recording that stuff because I'm looking at all the question cards, and I'm thinking, and some of it's obvious, some of it we know from driving experience and that, but some of it is stuff which, if you don't keep revisiting it, it does get lost, especially with the law changes happening now as well around New Zealand. I mean, not many law changes, but we are trying to update as we go along. So bear in mind, keep an eye on the Facebook page. As things change, we'll put them up there, so you can be aware of any changes. And as we produce our next production, our third one, we're hoping that any more changes will be updated in anyway. So
cool. Oh, well done, Ian. I suppose one of the things that we didn't talk about in the beginning was your background as well. So you work with the corrections, besides the work that you've done with the Driven for Success board game, and then also that you were a cop.
Yes, I was. Yeah, I was like.
That.
Yes, Manny. I was in the police in the UK for about 8 years. So I specialised on the frontline policing, and then I went into other areas in domestic violence and robbery squads and drug squads, and finished off like 2 years in domestic violence.
Oh wow.
We actually got a team accommodation for. I mean, we just did the inquiries really, but we got accommodation for this guy who got sentenced. Just Turkish guy trying to kill his wife with a machete and that. We got accommodation which got sent to me. So I left by then, and then I came out. I did a police transfer from the UK to New Zealand. And I went to Waikato, so I lived in Morrisville for 3.5 years. We went back in 2000. Then I resigned from the police in 2011 in Morrisville.
2011.
Yeah, and then we went back for family reasons back to the UK.
Oh yes.
And then 2 years later, everything was all good, so we come back, and I went straight into corrections.
Right.
And I worked at Waikeria Prison for a year in Remond.
Okay.
So I did all that as well.
Where's that? Is that in the Waikato?
It's near Timaru.
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 Oh, in the South Island.
Kirikiri. No, North Island. It's about an hour from Morrisville.
Oh yes, okay. Timaru?
Timaru.
Tiawamutu. Oh, Tiawamutu.
Timaru. Is that how you? I'll say Tiawamutu.
Tiawamutu.
Near Kirikiri. You go through Kirikiri, it's on the way out here.
Yes.
I mean, this is one thing I need to sort out. I mean, my Māoris and my expressions aren't the best, and I need to use my pepe as well. I need to learn it for my conference. So yeah, that's something I need to work on over the next few weeks.
So you were over there in Te Awamutu for a little while?
I was in the remand, because I'd been in the police. They put me straight to remand, which is not it's where all the high risk people are, and the people waiting to be sentenced are.
Okay.
So some of the other guys who started, they've been in the farming industry, and they went into corrections. They went on the camps, like they've got camps on site where they have all the high risk, the lifers and stuff will stay, and they get put to bed early. So a lot of them come in on night shift, just watch videos all night or DVDs all night.
Oh yeah, this is the corrections folk.
Whereas our remand, we were like working consistently, like early in the morning, 6 to 2 or 8 to 5. We would just keep working, and the night shift would come on.
Oh yes.
So we wouldn't stop. We'd always do something. Yeah.
Okay,
Whereas these other guys would go and just chill out. Yeah. We never did night shift. Yeah.
Check on a movie.
So I mean, it was quite intense.
Yeah.
And this is where I spoke to the practitioners in the prison about. A lot of them want to use it for the games to support the guys there.
Yeah.
And I said to them, well, why don't you want to buy any as well? Because some of the guys might want to play it in the yards and stuff.
Yes.
And he said, oh yeah, I never thought about that.
Yeah,
So
what a
that's
great
something
idea,
else
right?
I need to work on as well, to try and get them to buy more.
And that's where the idea came from?
The idea came from when I did the presentation.
Oh, that was...
And then obviously having the background with the police in the UK and here, driving is a big thing, hey, and I realised being over here in New Zealand, it's one of the targets they've been near for the last couple of years now, and it's a massive, and it's been growing, as you know, everything's been growing, everything's been getting sort of more companies coming on board. I think they were saying at the conference in the driving exchange in July that they had about 50 or 60 people there last time. This time we had 125.
Oh, nice.
So it is growing, and I think a lot more people are getting involved, which is
there's
good.
a lot more funding available from the government as well,
and that's why I need to push for funding. So I haven't got funding, but I haven't got the funding, and that's what I'm trying to get, just to get my last production before Christmas, my third one.
Oh yes.
And if I can get my third one produced before Christmas, because I have a feeling I'm going to run out. Yeah. Because my first one's almost gone.
Oh, good. Yes.
Yeah, it's about 600-700 without 200. And the second one will then have 1,000 left.
Wow, nice.
And if it goes crazy, which I think it will, and starts kicking off with all the promotion we're doing,
good work.
I might not have enough, because that's why I need to do another one before Christmas. Yeah. Because otherwise, customers won't be able to purchase it, and it'd be embarrassing.
Yes, of course, you don't want that.
So we'll work on that. We'll see what's what, and do our best to try and hopefully sell the others to just get the other one going at least.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow, Ian, that's a lot of information and an exciting story. An awesome story to have been shared with me, and
thanks,
cool
Manny.
journey.
Yeah, thank you.
Check out the website, guys. Driven for Success. If you're getting ready to sit your learner license test and you're struggling with the road code, or you've looked at the other products like Driven, and they haven't quite sort of met your need, then check this out. And even if they have, maybe check it out anyway. Looks like fun. I think I'm gonna go get a set as well, just to refresh my road code and knowledge, and give me something to do when I'm in my spare time for a little bit of fun.
And just to let you know, this is just a New Zealand product at the moment, so this only relates to New Zealand law.
Right. Yes.
And then when we go to Australia, we'll do the Australian one.
Yes, of course.
But they've got like a generic one, but then they've got about 6 states where it's all different.
Right.
So we're probably have to do a part 1 and part 2. We're not too sure yet. But I've got a colleague of mine who lives in Australia, so he's going to be doing some research.
It's a little bit more complicated.
Obviously, with the conference, I've got Peter. They know someone high up in Australia and also UK, so we can move forward with that.
Cool, good work.
But this one's just New Zealand based.
And then you're looking to go to the UK at some point too, aren't you?
Well, I'll make inquiries. You need to make sure it's going to work, don't you? Really, it's going to be beneficial to do it all. But we'll see how it goes. As long as we can kick it off in New Zealand and it can become successful here, that would be a great start.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good work. Well, thank you very much, Ian, for joining us today. We wish you all the best for the journey ahead. What an incredible success that you've already achieved so far with coming up with this concept, launching a product, and having sales as well. That's quite a feat in itself. So yeah, I suppose what we'll do is we'll end the video here for today, and then we'll catch up with you at the New Zealand Institute of Driver Educators annual conference in August.
Yes, Bunny. Yeah, we'll see each other then. And hopefully that'll be on our Facebook as well. So
yeah, we'll look forward to an update then.
Yeah.
And we'll hopefully get an update from you as well in terms of whether your second lot's arrived and what sort of sales you're doing.
Yeah, once that comes, it'll go on to Facebook. We do a regular update with which areas are being sold and where they're being sold from. So it's,
nice.
it's all over the South Island and North Island.
Yes.
Goes up to Whangarei, to Invercargill, to Otago,
nice
to Waikato, to Bay of Plenty. So Hawke's Bay, yeah. So
yes.
we've got the 6 prisons all over the country, to Christchurch,
wow,
Dunedin. Yeah. So it is. The good thing about it is it's spread quite evenly across the country.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
So the hope is that once people get it, it will then distribute even further to the people in them areas. Yeah.
Well, I'll drop your website details and stuff inside the description of the video.
Thanks, man.
Underneath the description. Yeah, if anyone has any questions, they can contact you.
Yeah, just give us a contact on contact@drivenforsuccess.shop, and I can give any answers to anyone who wishes to ask any queries or anything they're not aware of at the moment. But yeah, by all means, just give us a call.
And your Facebook
give
page
us a call
too,
as well.
right?
There's a phone number.
Oh yeah, there's a phone number
on the website. They can phone me if they want, leave a message, and I call back, because that phone's always left in
Sure.
I don't use it much, only use it to sort of look at messages
yes.
and call people back. But yeah, the Facebook, just go on to